wondered why the market always goes against you? Many times after you've bought a share, then share prices started to drop. Is it because that the market doesn't like you? How do we overcome this situation then? M+Wiz, which alerts on potential entry for trending stocks, might do the trick for you. Is that all for the Wiz feature? Not at all. To find out more, please visit us at mplusonline.com/wiz. Have you ever wondered why the market always goes against you? Many times after you've bought a share, then share prices started to drop. Is it because that the market doesn't like you? How do we overcome this situation then? M+Wiz, which alerts on potential entry for trending stocks, might do the trick for you. Is that all for the Wiz feature? Not at all. To find out more, please visit us at mplusonline.com/wiz. wondered why the market always goes against you? Many times after you've bought a share, then share prices started to drop. Is it because that the market doesn't like you? How do we overcome this situation then? M Plus Wiz, which alerts on potential entry for trending stocks, might do the trick for you. Is that all for the Wiz feature? Not at all. To find out more, please visit us at mplusonline.com/wiz.
Oh, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, this Elki here with you guys today. Good afternoon. We are gonna to start our weekly markets outlook right now. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Before I start, just would like to do a very fast voice check. Okay, if you guys can hear me clearly, loud and clearly, okay, please let me know under the comment. All right. Okay, then we're gonna start our section for today. Okay. Good afternoon, Gray. Good afternoon, Nora, and good afternoon, Ping Sing. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. I think you guys can hear me clearly, right? Okay. So if you look at our local benchmark KLCI index today, we are seeing just smallly gain at 1419 as of 12:30 p.m. afternoon. Okay, so you can see it's just slightly positive, and for the whole day, our local index has been hovering between positive and negative. This happened despite that we are seeing a very strong US performance last Friday, and global sentiment wise remains in on more towards a bullish note at this moment. But for the local side, we are yet to see any fantastic and exciting movement. In fact, if we look into our volume and value traded, we transacted, we can see there's only about 540 million transacted. Despite that, we are seeing the volume of 1.4 billion. So at this moment, we can see that more stocks traded at this moment. They are really skewed into a very penny kind of stocks, and gainers and the decliners, they are pretty much on the same. They are pretty much the same. They are pretty much balanced. All right. Okay. So if we look into our FPM KLCI, we do not see two exciting catalysts that support and gave us a boost for our local index, at least back to 1455 area. Okay, but the good thing is we are not seeing too strong selling pressure. In fact, at the break of 1420, okay, on the break of 1420 last week, we are seeing very fast recovery. This is from the technical side. We are seeing the piercing formation. Okay, piercing formations, and it's hovering near to the 1420 area, whereby if there's any positive catalyst coming in, we might see a very quick bounce to 1450 to 1455 area for our local benchmark index. Okay, and if for those who are using MACD moving average, you can see that the selling pressure actually has been slowing down. Okay, we are seeing the selling pressure slowing down, and that actually supports our view of a potential rebound in the markets. Yeah. Okay, so at this moment, although we are yet to see any strong signals, any indications telling us that the market it will rebound, but at this moment, I believe we do not need to be too pessimistic. Okay, buying support is there, and selling pressure has weakened. Strong high chances that we might see some rebound to 1450. All right. Okay. So what are the things that we should look into? This week we're gonna have our Malaysia local inflation data, okay, releasing expected to release on Friday. So that would be one of the data that many would pay attention to, because with the recent increased rate hikes on our OPL rates, okay, and also the global markets, all the nations has been focusing on the CPI, the inflation data. So this Friday we will see what after two round of the rate hike, how it gonna impact and also affect our local inflation data. So at this point, personally, I view that the impact should remains minimal, because many of our items, they are still being subsidized by our government. Okay, so we shouldn't see too drastic move like what we are seeing in the US side, whereby recently we have seen US CPI data has shoot up to 9.1%, and that trigger the worry of the markets that inflation might be coming in, and also worries about the US Federal Reserve might increase another 1% on their interest rate next week. Okay, yep. So next week, besides the CPI data this week, next week we are expecting to see Federal Reserve to announce a round of a rate hike, and the market has been anticipating between 75 basis point and over 100 basis point. So basically, if it's at 75 basis point, the market should be steady, or even something below 75 basis point, which no one is expecting that to happen right now. Okay, uh, this if this to happen, I believe the market should be quite muted the reaction, or slightly bullish. Okay, but if we are really see the US Federal Reserve to increase 100 basis point, that might bring in some knee-jerk reaction into the markets, and hence from there we might see some selling pressure coming in. Okay, yeah, so that is what we have to watch out for the next 2 weeks. Okay, so that's why with the anticipation of the upcoming Federal Reserve, we expect the technology sector um, to remains volatile. Okay, we can see despite that recently we are seeing some rebound in the technology sectors, the technology index itself. Many times we are seeing uh, the price, the rebound in the price is unlikely to be able to sustain. Okay, um, traders in the market, they will likely to employ a short-term trading strategy, whereby if they trade on the technology sector, if the buying come, they will just get out from the market with a few cents, or a few percentage of gain. Okay, some of the technology sector that we can look into is like, for example, it's like MPI. We are seeing MPI has been traded at the support at 2680 levels. It has been trading very closely at this level, and every time it comes to 2680, 27 areas, there are some buying support. Okay, but one thing that, like I said just now, the rebound from the level, it will be pretty much, it won't be too drastic rebound, like rebound all the way back to 33, right, 32 ringgit level at this point, but it might just come to maybe like 29 or 28, 29 areas. Okay, so that only gave us like 5 to 7% of gain, and that will be what all these traders, they are trying to get for just now. They not gonna be too ambitious on the technology counters, especially next week. We're gonna see a volatile week with the upcoming Federal Reserve. Okay, so very similarly, if we look into like DNO, okay, we can see DNO is trading on, it has been trading on near the support area at the 3.40 area, and some of you guys might draw this. This is a potential a trend line developing. Okay, yes, it could be, but this trend line is a little bit too flattish at this moment, which the buying support isn't that strong. It's more towards like a mild support at this area. Okay, at this area after the recent selling. So the buying rebound, it might just come it might just come to somewhere around 4 ringgit area. 4 ringgit will be a strong resistance for DNO. So with the rebound from the spot from some of these technology counters, you really want to monitor closely near the resistance level and get out as long as it gets nearer to that level, rather than you just hold on to it. Okay, of course, if you think that this is the low, because we can see all the technology counters, they have actually retraced a significant lab have retraced significantly from the top. Okay, so if you really want to position in some for long-term positioning, do expect that the holding time could be longer, and also you might want to position it smaller. Okay, the rest you can just scalp in and out from the support to the resistance in a shorter term basis. Okay, so similarly, if we look at Inari, you can see Inari also had a false break below the low at 2 ringgit 48 cents, and then it has a very sharp rebound. Okay, but as mentioned earlier, it's coming near to the resistance of 2 ringgit 65 cents. So if you're trading on Inari and you bought on the reversals rebound at around 2 ringgit 40 to 2 ringgit 50 cents, then you might want to scale up some of your position at above 2 ringgit 60 cents 65 cents. Okay, so at this moment, when the market lack of really positive catalysts and we are trading on the rebound play, we really want to be cautious and also see money take money kind of approach. Yeah. Okay. On the other hand, if we talking about healthcare, okay, healthcare wise, we are seeing a potential bottoming formation. Okay, uh, like so what I has been drawing on the technology sector is another bullish divergence on the healthcare sector. Okay, if we look into some of the healthcare counters, you can see IHH hasn't been moving much, but most likely the rebounding and the buying has been coming in on the glove counters. So for glove counters, why Hataliga has still trading in a sideways mode where we need to see a strong bounce above 2 ringgit 89 2 ringgit 98 cents to 3 ringgit levels to tell us that it might continue to rebound higher. Otherwise, it's likely to stay in a ranging mode. And for our world for the world biggest glove companies, we can see that Top Glove is also trying to pressure higher. Okay, so for Top Glove wise, the resistance level, it will be at 1 ringgit and 11 cents area. Okay, so buying has been coming in. Okay, we can see the volume has been drastically increased, and what do we need is just a strong penetration above 1 ringgit and 12 cents area. Okay, so that's about like just about 8 cents away from the current levels. Okay, and Supermax wise is more towards at the near to the bottom side. So if there is strong buying on the Top Glove and breakout above the levels, then we might want to um, take into chances into Supermax, whereby there are still upward space for it to go higher, about 8%. Okay, and another one, Kosan. Kosan, the buying pressure or the buying in Kosan will be much weak, much weaker compared to both of them. Okay, we don't see too strong volume emerging at this area. Okay, it has been trading on sideways. Okay, yeah. So some of the other related counters like HLT, okay, HLT we are seeing it's also going on sideways, going nowhere. And one is with the given emerging interest in those penny stocks like HLT Warren A, okay, has captured some of the buying interest with the returning interest in the healthcare counter. So if we look into HLT Warren A, okay, HRT warrant A, at this point we can see that the access price is at 20 cents, and then the mother share price HRT is at 23 cents, and with the warrant at 70.5 cents, actually the premium is only about like 19.5%. So if you're trading on short-term basis and you are trying to get along with the rebound in the healthcare, if that happens, so this is one of the warrant that you might see a sudden surge in the move, okay, and you might able to tap along with it, okay. But one thing to bear in mind is the maturity date is by end of this year, so you really don't want to hold on to the count for on this warrant for too long, because given that the maturity date is near, there will be more sellers trying to get out and disposing their holding on this warrant rather than putting in another 20 cents to convert it to become mother's share. Okay, yeah. So HLT warrant is, I would say, that is more suitable for short-term trading if the buying in the all these glove counters emerge, and then you want to trade for a short term. Yeah. Okay, especially the HLT is more towards doing to the glove dipping lines, and the expansion on the glove has been slowing down due to high competitiveness in the business, and hence the in a near term wise HLT business is not really that strong and positive at this moment. Okay, so if we look into another industry, like if we look into the plantation, okay, plantation has been very hotly traded and discussed this year. Okay, so when we talk about the plantation, the very first thing that we want to know is we really want to go in and see how is the pump price at this moment, and we can see that at this moment we are seeing the pump price has almost erased it erased the gain for this year. Okay, it has erased the gain for this year and approaching the very starting of the rally at around 3200 levels. Okay, and if we take the rally, the whole rally, it actually has retraced more than 38.2% at this point. So for CPO price, we can see that the retracement it could be overdone, it could be been overly done, and at this point we might see some technical rebound emerging, whereby it might come back trades above 4000 levels at this time. Okay, so technical rebound it might happen, and the resistance that we are seeing as 4200 areas. Okay, but in near term, we will see that plantation sectors, it's unlikely will perform too well. Okay, we have to be really selective if we are trading into plantation counters. Okay, we can see plantation counters, the price just came all the way back to the low of beginning of this year. Okay, most of them they has retraced and come back lower, and not to forget that for plantation counters we are still encountering the issues and the problems on the foreign labels, and also a potential remain high price of the fertilizer price. Okay, yeah. So although we are seeing a lot of commodities, they have traded lower. Their price has been traded lower, but the impact to reflect on the materials and also other other businesses, it might being delayed. Okay, so if we look at some of the plantation counters, we can see Sime Plantation. Sime Plantation has been show some support after the counter has been sold down from 5 ringgit 38 cents all the way to 3 ringgit 80 cents. Okay, there's some of the buying support, the selling pressure. At this moment, we are seeing some signal of slowing down. Okay, similarly, we can see MACD divergence, bullish divergence. Okay, yeah. So, but we are yet to see a strong bullish reversal signal happening yet. Okay, and if we look at other like let's say for FGV. Similarly, we can see all these plantation counters, the selling pressure has been slowing down. Okay, so for technically, if we monitor very closely on the CPO price, anytime where CPO price have some good movement on the technical rebound, we might see the some spillover effect on to the plantation sector as well for short-term trading. Okay, so like I said, if you are talking about the QR and also next few quarters result, it might affected on the reasons that I mentioned earlier on the label and also um, on the margin compression issue. Okay, so it's more stable to do on the short-term trading basis. Okay, yep. So if plantation counters remain weak, so at this moment, at this time, what are the sectors that we can consider to look into? I would believe that market trading interest, it could be more skewed towards some defensive sector like consumer. Okay, so if you look at consumer products, despite the recent drop, we are seeing some pressure on the consumer products, the index as well, but it's still holding well. Okay, if we look into some of the counter like Kawan Foods, we can see Kawan Food actually has still trading very steadily. Okay, and it's still managed to stay above more towards an higher low kind of formation, which this area to be the low, and right now it's still hovering above the support above 160 cents to 165 cents. Okay, so if we look into counters like Power Red, okay, you can see Power Red continue to trend higher, and there's still more upside to go if we look into this area as the bottoming support. And with that, we will see that the first resistance is 1 ringgit 85 cents, and the next one, if the rally prolong, is at 2 ringgit 26 cents. Okay, and if we go into some others like Uprush FFP. Okay, FFP is one that I think it looks pretty much interesting, as what we are seeing right now is technically we are seeing is trying to form a high low over here and potential rebound. Okay, yeah. So if we look into the trend line, we are seeing Farm Fresh has broken above the downtrend line, and it is pressuring to break higher. Okay, so above 165 cents area, we might see further buying pressure to 173 cents or even 180 cents to the IPO opening price high at 186 cents on its first listing day. Okay, so for those who wish to trade on some of the consumer staples, consumer counters at this moment, you might want to consider into looking into this FFB. Okay, yeah. So at the meantime, if you have any consumer counters consumer stocks that you would like to share with us and also see what's the view of it, okay, you can feel free to put into our comment area, and then we're gonna share our view with you. Okay, yeah. So for another ones, if you look into MSM, okay, MSM, we are seeing some strong volume emerging on last Friday, and today continue pressure higher. Okay, so one thing about the MSM is there's always a potential catalyst whereby if the government gonna increase the cap price for on the sugar or not. Okay, although recently we are seeing the government has been just increase the capping price for the chicken slightly higher. Okay, but there's still some potentials for sugar price to rebound higher. Okay, yeah, to go higher for the capping price, but before that happened, we are seeing more towards support movement, consolidation movement at this area. Okay, yep. All right. So, besides this sector, I believe some of you might be interested in looking into some of the oil and gas counter. Okay, oil price has been supported, has been having some good rebounds on last Friday. Okay, so if we look into some of the if we look into the oil price, okay, the UK oil, you can see UK oil at this moment, it has come to the support, and then we are seeing a hammer happening and some rebound. So for oil price wise, although the selling could be a bit strong at this moment on last week, okay, but we might see the selling to slow down at this area, which it might form uh, it might form into a range bound area between 100 about $97 to $130 at this area. Okay, but of course we really want to monitor very closely whereby if the break of this support area if it happens, then we are expecting the crude oil price to continue to trade much lower, the first level of $86 and also the next level somewhere around $70. Okay, and if that happens, definitely we will expect our oil and gas counters will remain under pressure. Okay, so we can see hibiscus has been reflecting the movement, the selling in the crude oil price. Okay, after recent break went as high as 150 cents, and we are seeing the crude price, the hibiscus price has been trading at 80 cents area. So you can see from my charts, 72 and a half and 80 cents area is the two major support levels that I'm looking at for hibiscus at this time. And any rebound on the oil price or on the hibiscus, we might see it will try to retest um, about 91 cents to 96 cents area. Okay, so that's about like a potential 5 to 8% upside for the technical rebound on hibiscus. Okay, no one that actively traded, it will be Heng Yuan. Okay, Heng Yuan, we are seeing it has been erased the previous rally from 4 ringgit to 7 ringgit, and right now it's all the way back to 3 ringgit 89 cents 80. Okay, so it's definitely going on downtrend, and it might go sideways at this area because um, why I'm not being too actively too positive and favorite on Heng Yuan is because the magnitude of it going up and coming down, it has been too sharp, and this kind of counter, it might trigger a lot of retailers, short-term traders, they might trap inside and might have a little bit more, still have short selling, not short selling, stop loss, orders triggers, all this thing, and hence it might pressure it lower. Okay, and one interesting counter that recently has been trading very actively is Paratransit. Okay, you can see Paratransit has made a very strong rally from 52 cents all the way to 84 cents. Okay, and on last Friday and today we are seeing strong selling. Okay, strong selling rejection from 85 cents with strong volume. Okay, so this is one signal that for those who are trading on paratransit, you really want to monitor it monitor it, because with this kind of rejection with strong volume, it might indicate that some distribution has happening and profit taking is taking place. Okay, so with this selling down, it might retrace all the way back to 75 cent support area. Okay, which I'm looking at it right now, or if the selling pressure has intensified, we might see 72 cents. Okay, 72 and 75 cents is the immediate support at this moment. Okay, good chances it might come to in between this area. All right. Okay, so some other counters that okay, Lucy is asking about HSI. Okay, just a sharing on the Hang Seng chart. Okay, if we look into HSI Hang Seng Index, we know that HSI, it always follow the HSI futures. Okay, so remove the drawings. Okay. So if we look into HSI wise, Hang Seng at this moment we are seeing more towards we can see that the moving average line, it has been trading more towards flattish. Okay, so for HSI traders, you might want to uh, sh- employ into a range bound kind of strategy. Okay, I would say that the chances of the HSI to go range bound, it might be stronger. Okay, so anytime if you are seeing Hang Seng Index trading near towards 19200 areas, then you might want to and especially if you see reversal bounce from the support area uh, from either 19240 or 18,300 levels, then you might want to go into a cold warrant. Okay, meanwhile, if you are in cold warrant right now, you really want to monitor closely when the Hang Seng Index trade near to 22,400 levels. Okay, and during that time you might want to take most of your profits, or even with a reversal you might want to consider to jump into a put warrant. Okay, but if we are seeing a clear break above this area, 22,400 area and above, saying above, we might see a potential bottoming happening right here, and it trade higher to 25,000 levels area or even higher. Okay, but at this moment, with the recent selling, the momentum, it seems it's still I don't think it's the timing yet for it to form a bottoming and reverse. Okay, it's more likely to continue to stay in a quite volatile mode in this range mode. Okay, yeah. So for those who are trading on HSI, this is the time that if you do not have any position, this is the time that you might want to consider to do a small buy position call warrants. Okay, for a potential rebound into this area. But if it continue pressure lower, you might want to cut it and then to see how it develop under this area rather than going into a put warrant, because the downside could be quite limited over here. Okay, yeah. So today is a strong bullish rebound signal, but of course, if you want to position for a longer term, looking at the broader view, we might see some selling pressure to continue. Okay, but when it comes below into below 19900 levels, we might see some slowing down in the momentum, and a bullish candle, it should trigger you to go into a call warrant. Okay, so besides that, if we look into some of the counters that mentioned in the chat box, so for Synergens, by Incheon Iman, at this moment, we can see that the break of the IPO opening low for Synergens, it has been drastic at the break of 56 cents, and at this moment we are yet to see a strong buying interest, and we are not seeing strong volume as well, and the rebound, it could be limited. Okay, the immediate resistance for Synergens is at 56 cents, and it might continue trend lower at this moment. We are yet to see any strong recovery signal, and the selling pressure it seems to remain strong. Okay, so for Samaden wise, we are seeing Samaden the selling for Samaden has been slowing down. Okay, so hopefully with the recent decline in the commodity prices like aluminum, like coppers, all these things, it will help all the solar counters to have a better margins in running their business. So in short term wise, we might see once the impact start kick in, okay, from a lower raw material price, we might see all these solar counters like SolarVest, like Samaden, to have some better profit margin posted. So by that time, you might see some more solid movement on Samaden. But if you already have a position from somewhere higher level and you do not know where to add in all this, with the slowing down in the selling momentum over here, and also the commodity price has been coming down for potential but improved profit margins for solar counters, you might want to consider to add in some position, small position at this area and wait for the impact to really confirm kick in, and then you continue to add from there. But at least you have some position added at the lower price. Okay. For Infotech, okay, for Infoline Tech, you can see Infoline Tech has been pricing lower, okay, pricing lower, and it has been staying lower at a lower price. So one thing that very interesting about Infoline Tech is if we look into Infoline Tech, you can see Infoline Tech, the share issue is about 363 million, and on the first day itself, the trading volume it has come to 0.1 B. Okay, meaning it means that there is about like 1/3 of the share issued has been changing hand and actively traded on the first day of the listing. Okay, so with this we can see that many who bought in or they have traded, it could be some of them they uh, got the shares on hand, they have released and sold it out, while some of those who bought in they could caught at a much higher price at this area. So as we are not seeing a strong rebound in Infotech at this moment, we might see some cut loss coming in, especially it has come to T day, T1, T2, T3. Today is the T3, and some selling pressure to emerge. Okay, so if we continue to see, if we see some selling pressure emerge, maybe on tomorrow or Wednesday, we might see some technical rebound to 30 cents or even 32 cents area. Okay, for Infoline Tech. Okay, as for Yinsen, okay, as for Yinsen, we can see Yinsen continue trend lower, and with the reasons surprise sentiment on the oil and gas counter, Yinsen could be remain weak at this point. Okay, Inchit Median is asking about Ecomet. Okay, Ecomet is one counter that recently has attracted some of the trading volume. It has been traded higher after it breaks above the 53.5 cents area, and at this moment, the view actually is pretty much positive for Ecomet, whereby we do not see any major resistance for Ecomet all the way until at 68 cents. Okay, so for Ecomet wise, the levels that you might want to look into is about 55 cents area, and 55 to 56 cents area, whereby any retracement on the recent rally, it should stay above 55 to 56 cents area. And if you see the selling have been slowing down and some constant buying pressure has been coming in this area, this is the price level that you might want to consider to jump in and take part if you miss out the entry at 53 levels or even lower, somewhere around 52 levels. Okay, so for Ecomet wise, the upside, it could be go as high as 68 cents. And of course, the very first round number that we're gonna look at is the round number at the 60 cents. So the resistance will be at 60 cents to 68 cents area. Okay. Xiaoqing, just now we talked about the Inari. So if you miss out the Inari earlier, you can play back the video later. Okay, we covered it when we were talking about the view on the technology sector just now. Okay, as for MYEG wise, we can see MYEG has been is trading near to the support at 80 cents, and at this moment, the selling pressure has been quite strong. 80 cents is one strong support levels that we are looking at, and from here we need the counter to go sideways with a slowing selling momentum. Otherwise, at the break of 80 cents level, we might see further selling to 76 or even below 70 cents area for MYEG. Okay, and last for today is by Nora. Okay, Nora is asking about MGRC. Okay, MGRC is also another counters that I believe one of the counters that many might be looking at it and checking about it. Okay, for MGRC wise, we can see MGRC. One thing about MGRC is it's not easy to trade MGRC because we are seeing MGRC always move in continuous upward counters, but when it's selling down, the selling can be quite drastic. Okay, yeah, so it's a very direct, one directional kind of counters. So after recent move of the recent string of the buying, okay, the resistance that we can look into MGRC, actually it has really approached very near to the resistance area, which is at about 120 cents. Okay, so for MGRC, it's not a counter that I would advise to jump in when it retraces back, because you can see the selling could be prolonged, and also it could be one directional when the selling came in. Okay, so if for those who hasn't been trading on MGRC, I would say that the upside is pretty much limited right now at this point, with the resistance at 1.90 cents and 1.30 cents, 35 cents area, and the risk and reward ratio, it doesn't justify. But if you have a position on hand, you might can continue to hold on to it as it broke above the 1.05 resistance area, and then it might continue pressure higher to 1.90 cents to 1.35 cents. Okay, yeah, so if you do not have position, I would advise that not to engage due to a not that great risk and reward ratio. But if you have a position, you can continue trail up to 1.20 cents to 1.35 cents through your stop higher to ride on the rally, because these stocks tend to move in a one directional kind of movement. Yeah. Okay. Last, Chinwell. Okay, Chinwell is at this moment it seems like Chinwell is trading in a sideways ranging mode. Okay, you can see a strong selling happening over here, so the stock might continue to stay more towards the downside at 1.65 cents support area for some time before we can see a further rebound in Chinwell. All right. Okay, so yep, that will be all for our session today. So for this week, we are yet to see any two exciting catalysts, but two data that have to look out. Our local CPI, and also next week will be on the Federal Reserve interest rate decision. Okay, so for those who are very more conservative, you want to take a defensive position. A consumer sector is the sector that you might want to look into, and for those who are trading on short term, you might want to monitor closely on the CPO prices. There might be some technical rebounds as the selling momentum has slowed down. Similarly, on the healthcare and also technology, along with the global sentiment on the technology. Okay, and of course, industrial products will be pretty much mixed at this moment. Okay, yep. So that will be all for our section today, and thank you very much for joining our section. And we will see you again next week. Okay, so good luck trading, everyone, and have a good week ahead. All right, bye bye.